bum bum bada bum bum bada bum bum bum. Whoa! Okay. Okay, I didn't. Oh no! Oh no! At least I was recording, right? And with that out of the way, here we are in Carcion. Welcome everybody to week 82 of my reboot progression series. I'm so happy to be finally a member of the exclusive 285 plus group. In EU Reboot there are roughly 200 people right now who are in this exclusive area, so the burnings here are actually quite good still. Yeah, of course the popular maps who will not have much of any burning, but you know, Nightwalker's Grind in Calm Beach 2, which is not super popular, which is actually kinda nice. So I'm really looking forward to that. Besides that, I want to take this time in this episode to review on my character, on my whole account, and split it into bossing and grinding slash farming. So why don't we start by talking about what this character brings to the table in terms of bossing. So if I were to go into my tab here, you can see I've cleared all the bosses that are here, but at this stage of the game you're really asking which difficulty of the boss are you actually clearing right now. So up to C10 everything's solo. When it comes to Black Mage, I do hard Black Mage alone. I don't intend on running Extreme anytime soon since I'm still missing the emblem. And I don't think there are many parties that run Extreme where, you know, multiple people are missing the emblem, right? It's too complicated. I'll stick to hard for now, and once I get the emblem, I'll maybe do something else. When it comes to Seren, I do hard Seren on the weekly solo, just to, you know, keep myself trained, or, you know, keep my hands trained in order to not lose my ability to actually play this game, because this boss fight takes me roughly like 20 plus minutes, but I haven't died out in some time, so that's pretty good. When it comes to colors, I do normal colors in a party. I would love to move up, but I feel like a lot of people are waiting for the colors nerf in order to move up to chaos. It is quite a steep jump, and I think I'm currently not ready to go the next step, basically. So I'm just chilling at normal. Normal is super easy, so I don't mind at all. When it comes to culling, I am currently doing easy culling in a party, although I probably have the damage to solo easy culling. It's kinda rough as a Nightwalker, because my class, you know, it's really good, but soloing culling is one of the things that it's not really that good at. I'm also trying to find a party or clear actually normal culling, because I'm currently practicing with a party, but I don't really see us clearing anytime soon with the final damage nerfs coming up. And yeah, that does it in terms of the hard bosses that I actually do. Honestly, all the other bosses are like 2 bursts and I'm gone. So nothing really worth talking about. But if you're wondering what gear is needed in order to do these bosses, let's go over that next. I have the Legacy Misty Island totem here with 101 luck on it. Pretty good, I think a little above average. At least, you know, I didn't break it, so that's great, I guess. Then I have 2 Guild Castle totems, you can just buy these, right? And then I have 2 items that I would like to give, you know, a little bit of special attention to, and these are the Slime Ring and the head. So, starting off with the head, Nightwalkers usually don't want to use a cooldown head when doing bosses, but I don't have a proper damage head. I've decided a long time ago I'm just gonna wait for Eternals, and now, you know, I'm getting closer and closer to actually getting the Eternal head, so I'm like, oh, come on. Nah, I'm not gonna make a proper damage head, and that's about it. I could have, what is it, 30% more luck? But honestly, I'm fine. I'm content without it. Same is true for the Guardian Angel Ring here. This one has 1 line of item drop rate on it to complete my item drop rate farming setup, but I do use it in my bossing setup. Unfortunately, this could be another 13% luck. I'll get to this in Shining, where I'll just make another 22-star slime ring. Yeah, and that's gonna be it, right? I already have the potential done. It is sitting right here. And it just boomed from 21 to 22, and then I was really mad. But since then I've collected quite a few spares, so I'm hopeful that it's gonna go to 22 in Shining. Next up we have my rings. 22 full potential, Karnat's treasure, superior Golox, 22 full potential, no double primes. I don't have any double primes, so that's something that I will be looking into in the future, but yeah, nothing for now. Then a raw 4, of course. I got a book, as well as I got like 3 spare books by now. Just in 2024 they all started dropping. I did discard all of them because I was cleaning up my inventory. I only left 1 spare book that I can throw flames on, so I don't have to ever black flame this. That's about it. Then we have the sauce right here. I do have a couple of spares, so I'm not really wanting to push for double priming this sauce quite yet. Because, you know, if these go to 23, I'll just double prime these instead. And that's also something that I've planned for Shining, right? I'm saving Dominators, and then I'll just buy the Superior Foders, and then we're gonna hammer 21 Superior into the sauce, and then we have a 3.5% chance to get this item from 20 to 23 stars twice. It's not quite 7%, I know. The math nerds are, you know, they're on their toes here, waiting for any errors that I might make, right, to correct me in the comments. No. It's 3.5% twice. Then, we have the Superior Golox Pendant. Full potential, decent flame, 22 stars. I don't really intend on working on this item anymore. Then the Genesis Guards here. Double prime potential, really good also for solo bossing to have 1 line of boss damage on them. It's really good. The flame is not yet done. I do intend on upgrading this. This is tier 6, tier 5, tier 5. And I've never seen tier 7 attack as of now, so yeah, that's just sad. When it comes to the soul, it is currently 7% boss damage. I intend on upgrading this, but I might upgrade this to a Mugong soul in the future. I am working on that as of now. We can check my book progress here together, but I'm still far away off from getting this, so I would only ever consider using the Mugong soul if I get it to level 2. And here you can see I'm missing 2 souls, so that's at least another 20 weeks away, because you can only buy 2 soul shards a week from Dojo. And then, you know, we have a, what is it? 2 in 7, 7? 2 in 8? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay. 2 in 7 chance to hit one of the flames souls, I mean. And then, you know, a 1 in 7 chance, so combined, that's really low. Yeah, but, you know, in the meantime, I'll probably, you know, if I feel confident and I have enough mag souls, I'll try to go for 3% attack. It's not the world. I'm completely fine with this as well. Then, Superior Golox Belt. 22 stars, full potential. Then, yeah, we have the Trident Mark. Really good flame with 68 and 6. But of course, obviously, not an endgame item. So we're gonna see. Next up, the Sweetwater Monocle. It is transposed, but after the transposing nerfs, so this is like really bad, and I would love to get an eye patch to upgrade to, because, you know, that would be a huge improvement for me. Outside of that, I'm considering star forcing up the pub mark here to 22 and then comparing that against the Sweetwater Monocle, but I'm not 100% sure if that is going to be better, because you know, this is only a 145 item. That's something I will definitely look into. But until then, I will not drop this. So these are so rare. This was my second pub mark that I got in 1.5 years of running Popularis, so yeah, it's rough. Then we have the top and bottom. I think these have the identical flame, yeah, besides, you know, 12 decks, so 60 and 5 full potential. And then we have my Superior Golux earrings. This is probably the best flame that I have in the account with 32 and 4. Also, it's awesome because this doesn't have any secondary stat on it, so awesome. Like, or, you know, or even like useless stat. No, this is just 32 and 4 perfection. Shoulder, full potential, 22. Then the glove. This is also really good flame. 97, 5 attack and 6 all stat. But the potential is lacking. This would be another 7 or 10% of stat that I could improve on relatively easily. I already spent over 50 bill throwing black cubes at this and couldn't improve it, unfortunately, right? But, you know, this is something that I'm considering to work on. Although, I know, and you know, spoiler alert to everybody who hasn't seen the showcase yet, there's gonna be a new 290 area in the future, and that 290 area is gonna have a new boss, and that boss will drop new Eternals, mainly glove, cape, and boots. So this is not the end game item anymore, so it's worth considering if I should still upgrade this. I am currently leaning on yes, but that might change in the future. If I spend another 50 or 100 billion on this glove and it doesn't go, maybe my opinion will change. Then we have the Arcane Umbra Cape. Nothing special. This flame could be improved, but honestly, I don't think I will ever get around to doing that. Then we have the shoes. Yeah, decent flame, full potential. I think it's done. Then the secondary is 3 lines of attack, Monster Park medal, Magnus badge, and 3 lines on the emblem, which is not yet the Mitra's Rage, but that's about it. So, I'm sitting at 2 set pitched up until a couple days ago. I had a black card popped, and I do have a couple spare black cards here, but these, I don't know if I should use these. I currently don't really have that many plans to use them in the near future, especially since I'm currently at 2 set. If I would be at 3 set, popping a black card would give me that 5% crit damage from the 4 set effect. That would be juicy, definitely. Then, when it comes to Eternals, like I said, I am running Carlos and Carling right now, but I'm not close to obtaining any of the pieces yet. So, that's another story for the future, right? And yeah, that is basically my damage setup. With this setup, I do manage to hit... where's Kulvat? Guild contents. There we go. 35k in Kulvat score, and the, you know, main determining factor of Kulvat score, you know, with this type of gear is of course the 6 job, as well as, of course, or especially, not as well as, but especially the origin skill, right? So some people might say, damn, your gear is pretty good, why is your Kulvat this low? And my Kulvat is this low because I'm sitting at level 10 in the origin. This, you know, can be improved and will be improved, but for now I'm super content with the place my Hexa Matrix is in, and that is mainly due to the bosses that I'm able to clear right now. Moving up from normal colors to chaos colors is extremely difficult, simply for the fact that, you know, you have to find a support for that. In my normal colors party, dude, sometimes we have a support, sometimes we don't have a support, it doesn't matter. We just 5 minutes and colors is down, whatever. But this does not translate into a Chaos Colors run. Not even close. So I think most people will wait for colors to be nerfed, and then we'll be able to reassess, right? So I don't really need much more damage in terms of, you know, being able to move up in the colors ladder, because there are other roadblocks currently in my way, right? Finding a support, etc. Then the same is basically also true for culling, where I'm currently practicing normal culling, but dude, it's rough. It's rough. If you can't 1 verse P2, there's a lot of training that goes into that, and I'm not 100% sure if improving my Hexa would definitely yield in any results, to be honest. But of course, you know, more damage does never hurt, so I can see you saying, yeah, dude, you're nowhere near done. But I think, you know, this is something that I can be proud of in general, right? So, with all my gear... Oh, wait. I forgot about Dojo, right? There's probably no Dojo board here. So let's go to Dojo to show you guys how I rank. I think I'm ranking at around 78 right now. Exactly, I did 78 earlier. Without a black card, you know, just with the gear that you've seen. And I think 80 is probably impossible for me, but 78, that's pretty nice. Besides that, what is also usually shown off when people talk about their gear, their inventory is shown off, because, you know, this is reboot. Half of the damage comes from what you have in the inventory. At least, you know, in terms of what you will do in the future. That's what I'm getting at here. So anyways, as you've seen, I'm saving Dominators to go for the SOS 23. I'm saving Slime Rings to go eventually for 23-star Slime Ring. I'm saving Canna Rings, and this is a recent development, because I've stopped going for the GLONASS Heart Ring, because in the last 5, 10, 15, this guy went up to 16, and instead of going up to 17, it decided to go down again, and that was so demotivating that I just said to myself, yep, I'm done with this. But I still do Golox on the daily anyways, so I said to myself, okay, might as well pick up these kind of treasure rings. Same story as with the sauce, right? Get these to 21, fodder them into Superior, and then just try to go for 23 on the ring. I get a ring spare like once a month, right? This does not guarantee 23-star Superior ring. No way, not even close, right? But currently my Golox run is literally just I enter, hit once and press Origin, and Golox is down. So it's not like it's a massive time investment, so that's completely fine. Besides that, I have these Daybreak pendants, because I'm going for a 23-star but Daybreak pendant, right? Why not? I currently can't wear a 22-star Daybreak pendant anyways, right? Because I'm using SOS and Superior, and the moment I would be able to switch out of the Superior pieces, it would be nice to have a 22-star Daybreak pendant, right? But that's so far into the future. And I'm saving Daybreak pendants, right? But until I'm getting closer to that, I'll just boom this pendant over and over again, and I will not stop at 22. This pendant was at 22, and I decided to just boom it. Okay. Besides that, there's the CFE. This guy is done. But of course, I'm missing the Dreamy Belt in order to even consider moving out of Golox. This is the bare minimum, I think, to have both the CFE and the belt. Maybe, you know, if you do some calculations, you find out that actually in party bossing this would be better, or, you know, something like that. But I think generally it's fair to say you'll need both items. Then we have this Endless Terror right here. This will be upgraded in Shining, simply for the fact that it's a 200 item and extremely expensive. So I think I will hold my mesos close to my chest for now. I know I have 37 billion, enough to boom this item, I know. But I don't mind. I am not pressed for damage right now. I can do all the bosses that I want to do. I can participate in all the parties that I want to participate in. and I'm super content with that. Which is a great bridge into talking about my farming setup. So, but I forgot to show you guys something. I forgot to show you guys my stats, right? So, with the given gear, I'm sitting at 211 million combat power and 61,000 luck. With familiars, I'm getting up to 247 million combat power. Not bad at all. Then, if we take a look at the familiars, I'm rocking a 30% boss damage, 30% boss damage, and 20% boss damage familiar. I sometimes swap the 20% boss damage familiar out for a healing familiar. So if I were to search for HP, I have 3 of them with, 2 lines of HP healing, but I usually, swap out the 20% boss damage familiar for this one here, which has 2 lines of, ally/party healing. So, usually the bosses that we do are, not that difficult, so I can just slot this in to secure the run or whatever, right? I'm not really pressed for damage right now. And yeah, in my second setup, I of course have a large drop familiar with fortunate 3% critical damage, 6% auto steal, and 5% auto steal. And I think that wraps up the damage setup, so might as well switch over into my farming setup. Just, one word on the Legion. I'm currently actively working on improving my Legion by spending roughly half an hour a day doing Arcane River dailies for the experience as well as Monster Park on lower level characters. Right now it's the Shade that is getting, all the experience from the Arcane River dailies and Monster Park, but this guy is getting close to be done. And then we'll Hyper Burn a Hayato, so these two will give me 2% additional crit damage, which is basically half the Kinesis Link skill, so that's not too bad at all. And yeah, then I'll probably, grind up the Marksman next. This guy is missing some cosmetics, but we'll get to that when we'll get to that, right? Anyways, farming setup. So, let's get into the farming items. First off, I do use the Threads of Fate for 1% additional cooldown reduction. This is absolutely huge for me, and if we check out the Threads of Fate rapport UI, you can see that I'm friends with Izuna, Tengu, and Yorozu, and I've, equipped them here, if that's the right way to say it, in order to get the extra 1% of skill cooldown from them. In order to, have 1% additional skill cooldown, you need to befriend them, so your rapport or closeness with them needs to be at least above 50 with all of them. I think you'll need a combined value of 151 in total between these 3. But, of course, it's really easy to upkeep these, so they're always sitting at 100 for me. Next up, we have a Twilight Mark, 2 lines of item drop. Black Bean Mark, 2 lines of item drop. We have a Stellar Earrings, 2 lines of item drop. We have a prepared... oh my god! We have a prepared Pendant of the Spirit, really nice. Then a Sweetwater Pendant. This Sweetwater Pendant is special because it was done or created or transposed. That's what I was looking for. It was transposed before the changes to the Sweetwater system or transposing system, so it actually has a decent flame. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a flame that is good enough to keep investing into this item. Some people keep doing commercy in order to go for a 23-star pendant, which is quite something. I'm kinda lucky in that sense that, the flame isn't good enough, so I will never need to consider actually having to go back to doing commercy. That would be quite something. Then I have an event ring right here with 20% mesos. Then I have this Meister ring right here with item and meso drop rate. And I have another Kana's treasure ring with 2 lines of meso drop rate. So let's just activate familiars because it does give crit damage, so it does inflate my CP. You can check that out here. I'm between 111 and 113 million combat power. sitting at roughly 50k stat in my farming setup. And yeah, here you can see 100% from equipment and 200% from equipment. So, with that, I would like to show off some Carcion maps. You know, where will I be grinding and for how long will I be grinding is the question, right? Because we have some changes on the horizon and I would like to discuss these next. So let's start up with this map right here, Calm Beach 2. This will be the map that I'll be grinding in for the foreseeable future, meaning the next like probably 2 months, because I want to be within level range, and yeah, these mobs here are 286, which means that I can grind here until I'm like 287 myself. That will probably take more than 2 months, to be honest. Probably more like 3, maybe even 4 months. But, you know, everything comes with time. And as long as I'm within level range, I get bonus EXP. And that's why I kinda have to grind here. I could also still grind in Interior at like 285 mobs, but I'd rather move up because honestly the burning here is quite good. So I wanna, you know, make use of that. Besides that, other really good maps in this area are Giant Coral Colony 3, Calm Beach 1, 2 and 3, and then we have, I think, Forest 3, and I think like all of the Tainted Trees maps, but when it comes to these, I think the only one that is really popular is Tainted Trees 3. This also has low burning in the EU, so yeah, that's about it. Alright, so some fellow Nightwalkers might be wondering right now, Soga, are your bets 2 hitting here? And to that I can answer, let's take a look together. So I'll just start a BA and then fight once, and that does it already. The mobs here have 21 billion HP. Let's take a look at how much damage my bets do. Without anything, you can see, wait, where is it? Here we go. My bets do 10.7 billion damage, which is barely enough, but you know, this is also the average damage, which is, you know, you want to be a little bit above average, because otherwise you have mobs like this one, with a little bit of HP left, and you know, mobs like this one, a little bit of HP left. I think this one right here, you know, got hit by a single bat and then Venom Burst got him down a little bit further because I have that slotted in. Let's take a look. Wait. Yeah, Venom Burst did some damage. Okay, so with that question out of the way, I am kind of 2-hitting, but not really, which means that I will have to cycle in a couple of buffs or just use G-skills, which I will be doing from here on out. I kind of wish I was a little bit stronger so I didn't have to, you know, be conscious of using other buffs or cycling G-skills. But, you know, that's just the way it is. Maybe in the near future my, like, Spirit Pendant will expire and then I'll just use a Damage Pendant and then, you know, I'll get the 2-hit 100% of the time. So, yeah, this will be the map that I'll be grinding in. And I really do like the layout, and I suppose we could start a BA. Let me just, you know, clear a couple of mobs to make it fair, I guess. So with that out of the way, I wanted to talk to you about the upcoming changes to the game, which are mainly the introduction of Soul Janus, as well as the upcoming 290 area, as well as familiars, right? They're gonna add familiars to Cernium, and last week I did take a look at, you know, the whole familiar situation, gave you guys my thoughts on that, and I got some really valuable feedback where some people said that, Soga, you already have 80% of boss damage on your familiars. Are you really considering going down to Cernium for 40 more %? And I think that basically hit the nail on the head and answered the question. No, I don't think it's worth it. No, and I won't be going down there. Of course, you know, it's not that obvious to some commenters that this change is amazing for the majority of players, probably the majority. But for me, you know, it's kind of meh. But, you know, let's take a look at the new information that we got since the last episode, and that is that they're gonna introduce a new 290 area. Now, it's definitely not gonna be worth it for me to go down to farm familiars. And I'm kinda in an okay spot to farm it out until that patch hits. It's expected to hit around February, and hitting 290 for me until February is a little rough. It's a little rough. I need to make like 2.5 trill experience a day, which is, yeah, that's a lot. Probably more than I do right now. I could check in Maple ranks, but I haven't. I'm pretty sure I'm sitting at around 1.5 trill. And since I'm deciding that I want to be committing to farming a lot, let's talk about the upcoming Soul Janus skill, right? So, initially when going over my gear, I said I'm quite content with where I'm at in terms of bossing, right? And that's true, I'm quite content with where I'm at with bossing. And I kind of have the goal to hit 290 by the time the new area releases, which means that I will have to grind a lot. But the question is really, what am I willing to sacrifice for it? And yeah, I don't know guys, but I'm considering to max the second mastery when it releases in order to make my bets as strong as possible, in order to get as good as rates as is possible. And then I might max Soul Janus. Yes, okay. I finally said it on video. I'm thinking about it right now. Like I said, I'm currently not stressed for damage at all, but spending more frags on my Hexa would drastically improve the damage that I will do. I think I'm currently sitting at like 40% out of 60% final damage improvement from 6 drop. So if you don't know how that works, right, there are some people who created cheats and mathed it out how much final damage you're actually getting from, you know, maxing out your 6 drop, right? And compared to a 5th drop Nightwalker, a fully maxed 6 drop Nightwalker does like 60% more final damage, right? So I'm like 40% of the way there, so I still have quite something to gain, right? And especially when looking at the origin, getting the origin from level 10 to level 20 is, I think, 1400 fragments. And for me personally, that would improve my final damage output over a 6-minute BA by 3.5%. Which is not a lot, if you think about it, right? If I were to add, or if I were to add, like if I have anything to say about that, or, you know, if I were to have a say in that. Now, if a support would join our culling party, for example, that would add way more damage to my BA than 3.5%, right? That's obvious. It's not like that's gonna happen, but, you know, 3.5% doesn't sound like a lot on its own, right? When you say like, oh, adding a blaze with it, it's 15% final damage, or, you know, whatever it is, right? I'm not 100% sure. Don't hold me accountable for this, but hold me accountable for the following, right? Getting Silence, the origin skill, from 10 to 20 will add 3.5% final damage, but these 3.5% final damage are over a 6-minute period, right? And if we look at how modern bossing works, we all know that, you know, we sit down, burst, and then we do something else in the meantime, right? So really another way to look at a 3.5% final damage gain is to just look at a 30-second window instead. And a 30-second window, basically, you know, what is it? 12? Yeah, okay, no. A 30-second window fits 12 times. 12 times? 1, 6? Yeah, exactly. Oh my god! Oh my god, this is devastating. Maybe I... No. Now I'm not gonna cut out anything. Okay, what I was about to say is a 30-second window fits 12 times into a 6-minute window, right? And if we say a 6-minute window would, or an upgrade would grant me a 3.5% final damage improvement over a 6-minute window, but you know the skill duration is only 30 seconds long, what I would rather look at is a 12 times 3.5% final damage increase over a 30-second window, which is also more in line with, you know, modern bosses, right? And that's gonna be like 40% improved final damage. And 40%? That's actually a lot, right? For 1400 fragments, for so cheap, right? 1400 fragments, that's 2 weeks of farming. That's super worth. That's super worth. The same is true for the rest of the 6 job skills. It's super worth to improve them in order to get more damage, especially rapid throw, right? Since, you know, it is part of that very short burst window, which is so crucial to a lot of parties. But then again, I'm quite content with the place I'm at right now. I do recognize I would sacrifice a lot by stopping the Hexa progression right here and just waiting for a Soul Janus release, save up a couple of fragments, and then max out Shadow Bats and then Soul Janus. I know that's a lot and I would sacrifice a lot, but what is there to gain for me if I don't do it, right? What is there to gain? Of course, more damage, and soon enough we will have to face a new boss, Extreme Lotus. And a lot of people are considering to create a red dot trader. That's how I'm gonna call it. I'm not 100% sure if that's the official term for this, but a lot of people are considering hyper burning a character that is mainly used as a buffer for another person, so you can trade Extreme Lotus runs, right? Because you can only enter with 2 people. It's extremely difficult to run the boss, and the extra support that, for example, a mechanic, Blaze Wizard, Bishop, or Lin, maybe Paladin, could provide in that scenario is not nothing, right? So some people are considering, okay, in order to get the damage, in order to get the 30-minute Extreme Lotus clear, I will have a buddy of mine create a Lin who will buff me for that fight. And in return, I will create a mechanic, or maybe also a Lin, and I will buff him on the weekly, right? When I take this into account and progressing my Hexa skills, I could see myself clearing Extreme Lotus on release if I were to keep my head down, focus on upgrading my Hexa skills, as well as get my Blaze Wizard from 250 to 260. I think then maybe it would be possible for me to red dot trade Extreme Lotus. And besides that, honestly, maybe it would even be possible to just solo Extreme Lotus straight up. But I think that's a little bit unrealistic. But I haven't looked too much into it. These are just my thoughts right now. On the other hand of this discussion, we have somebody like me who already made a huge investment into his farming by going for Shadow Bite early on, basically delaying my Hexa progression by a month or maybe a month and a half. But now that I'm still grinding, I feel like it was super worth it. Upgrading my farming experience here to make it as lazy as possible was super worth it, because I'm just farming more, right? Because it's so chill. And I feel like maybe that's also gonna happen when I put points into Soul Janus. I'm not gonna be necessarily clearing more mobs, right? But I will be getting more experience doing so. And that might be worth. That might be worth. What I would be sacrificing is the Extreme Lotus solo or Red Dot trading. But at the same time, for how long would I sacrifice that, right? Is getting my origin skill to level 20 enough to solo Extreme Lotus? Okay, then, you know, it's just a 2-week investment. Is that not enough? I really don't know. I really don't know. But what I am certain on is that, honestly, just doing Extreme Lotus on release, there's no shame to that. Like, you can just do it and be fine with that. And it's also not as stressful to get the mechanics down week 1, right? You can take your time with it. Just try the boss. Maybe, you know, it's only gonna be a 15-minute run with a buddy, right? That's fine. That's fine. That's acceptable. Alright, so let's review some more maps here in Carcion. So let's start off with Calm Beach 2 to establish our baseline. So if you aren't familiar with MapleMaps by now, obviously you've been living under a rock, but let me go over this together with you guys. So I just clicked on a map and, you know, here's the layout, nothing fancy, right? But here is the magic. I've entered my usual mob count. I think in the BA that I just did, I was a little bit under, but that's completely fine. And if you configure the site, it will just tell you how much EXP and mesos you're getting in that map, which makes it really nice to compare to other maps where, you know, maybe the mob is a level under the mob that you want to compare against, and then, you know, the XP multiplier is going to be different, etc., etc. This site just handles everything for you and makes comparing maps really, really nice. So in this case, I did grind in this map, and the rotation that I used is also something that I've saved here. And yeah, I've saved it in preset 1. And yeah, this is basically what I did, right? I was facing the left side, had a pet jump off continuously around this area, and I was using Shadow Bite here. I did also clip these mobs. I was also able to clip these mobs up here, which is just a testament to how accurate the site actually is. I really, really like it. I also already created another preset here with Soul Janus, where I would be using the Twilight skill. So here, you know, I have the Twilight version overlaid over Shadow Bite because I would be standing in the same spot, right? And the Twilight skill does not clear the top part of the map. It seems like it, right? I'm not 100% sure if this is 100% reliable, but, you know, from what I've seen so far, this site is, like, it's really good when it comes to these hitboxes, etc. So planning out any rotations is just super nice. Besides that, I think I have a preset with the other Soul Janus variant, yeah, where I place it here. But honestly, that's probably not something that I'm ever gonna do. I would just rather I guess, not use Fountain at all and just place it here. Maybe, you know, if I up jump, or yeah, place it during my jump, I could place it around here, because this skill is something that you can place mid-air, apparently. Also, it's not in the game yet, so I don't know, right? Apparently you can place it in the air, so I could, you know, what is this, quadra plat here? Or maybe, you know, I could place it here and it would quintuple plat. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, actually, okay. So maybe I would do something like this, but as you can see, Soul Janus, the skill, will probably not improve my rates by a lot, at least in this map. So let's talk about the other maps here. So the other good maps starting out in Carcion are the Giant Coral Colony 3, Calm Beach 1, and Calm Beach 3. Because these maps also have the the high mob count that we are looking for, basically, right? So let's start off with the Giant Coral Colony 3, the map that has this big slope in the middle of it, which means that it's actually really hard for me to find a proper rotation in, because if I were to select my class here, select Shadow Bite, and I stand on top of this platform, you can see I'm not even biting 15 mobs, which is usually what you want to have within this area of effect, right? Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then, yeah, it's not as good. It's not as good. If I were to also add Fountain, I could like maybe Fountain here, but you can see Fountain doesn't reach this platform here. Unfortunate. If I were to Fountain here, it would kinda reach here. Maybe I should stand on the other side then. I could see something happening here, but because I know that I'm not biting any of the bottom row mobs here, I will not be hitting 18k mobs here. This is something I don't even need to test, so this map kinda unplayable for me. Next up, we have Calm Beach 1. This is one of the maps that I actually also tried, and yeah, I was able to reach 17.5k in this map right now without Soul Janus, so this is probably a candidate where I can utilize Soul Janus to max the map. And yeah, this is how I basically farmed the map. I was standing here, looking to the right, had a pet jump off and loot this side of the map here. But yeah, there are always a couple of fringe mobs in the corners that aren't quite hit by the bats, which just meant that the rates took a small hit. Then we have Calm Beach 3. This map is really, really popular, it seems like, because these two portals here serve like an amazing job where you can just start at the bottom, take the portal. Wait, no, I should say, you start up here. And then, you basically go down, go left, and clear the map in the meantime, right? You could place Fountain around here. Let's just, place Fountain here. And you can active farm in an L over and over and over again. Maybe you can place Fountain here. Damn, this Fountain placement is like really good. Holy. Obviously, if you, were to jump under it, Fountain clearing these bottom mobs doesn't really matter at all. Maybe, you should place Fountain like up here, maybe. Maybe here was also right. So yeah. Since this map had kinda low burning, I'm not really wanting to look further into this, but yeah, that's it for now. Then, I have a couple of predictions to make with Soul Janus, and this prediction is for Enfolding Forest 3 as well as Tainted Trees 1. These maps are super similar. So, these are these big maps with small platforms where there are no mobs on the bottom platform. Something like kinda unique, to be honest. Again, you can reach up to like 18.72k in this map. I haven't tested it because it's a little far out of level range, so I'm not too interested into that, right? But let's take a look at the rotation helper. Wait, I don't have it saved? No. Let's take a look at Tainted Trees 1. Maybe I have it saved here. Oh, I also forgot to save it here. That's completely fine. We can rebuild it. So let's select Nightwalker, Shadow Bite. So I would be probably standing on this edge right here, or maybe I would be standing kind of close. So I would have a pet jump off to loot some parts of the map immediately. And now here comes the big thing. Soul Janus in this map actually reaches like, holy moly, are you seeing this? It reaches nearly all the platforms. I think Fountain isn't enough. Oh no, oh wow. Are you seeing this? This basically means that every class can grind in this map. You can hold down your auto attack and full clear this map. And this is one of the best maps in the game. Wow. Crazy. Crazy. Soul Janus is going to be the big equalizer for a lot of classes. I think the gap between, you know, Nightwalker and Demon Slayer and all the rest of the classes is gonna be shortened. Wait, no, shortened? Closed. The gap's gonna be closed. Because, you know, rotations like these are gonna exist, potentially, right? So let me just save this to preset 1, so I can take a look later, right? Besides that, the other really popular map is Tainted Trees 3 right now, because, yeah, this map is just so broken. Add a fountain, you place it here, it triple plats, or you place it here, it triple plats. Usually I think most people place it here, and then they have like some sort of class summon that they place down in the middle, and then they just hold down a button in this left area here, which is, yeah. If you are not yet 285 and you are wondering, man, Nightwalkers are so OP, they can farm so lazily. Dude, other classes can do it as well, but not in all maps. But this one is definitely one of the maps of all time. Yeah, this map is just broken. Yeah. And of course, you know, for Nightwalkers, it's even easier to clear. But where's the point in that, right? You can only max a map so much, right? Once you clear all the mobs, you can't clear all the mobs +1, right? So yeah, but, you know, like I've shown off, maybe, you know, Tainted Trees 1 is gonna be not that popular as this map. Maybe we're gonna find another, like, big map that is usable for us. I think it was, like, Sunken Ruins 2 where I saved the rotation that I was looking at. Yeah, exactly. So here, for example, I could see myself, you know, using Fountain here, Shadowbite in the middle, and then Soul Janus with a jump in order to make it triple plat here. Without Soul Janus, hitting the mobs in the top left here on any class is going to be like really difficult. So I think this Soul Janus placement is kind of cool. But yeah, we're gonna see. This map is like so far out of level range for me, but, you know, I was just taking a look, letting you guys know what I'm thinking about, and maybe, you know, this also inspires you to cook up some cool rotations for your class in your area, right? So yeah, I am investigating this, and it's so much fun for me. And because it's so much fun to, you know, take a look at this in theory, I also want to put some points into Soul Janus, man, to you know, take a look in practice. Yeah, and honestly, I think it's gonna be okay. If you take a look at how much Soul Janus delays your 6-job progression, if you are actively grinding, you're taking a hit by like 2 months. Maybe, you know, if you aren't hardcore grinding, you're delaying your Hexa progression by 3 months. For a skill that gives you an insane amount of experience, right? For free. Like, it's just passive. So, yeah, I think, you know, everybody can take their own decision, but maybe it's worth it. Maybe it's worth it. Alright guys, so it's a Wednesday already, and I feel like I didn't really get my opinion across when it comes to, you know, my plans, Soul Janus, etc. I did the math now, and I can probably overlay that over the video portion where I was talking about Soul Janus, etc. Not really sure if I ended with a conclusion there, but the, you know, overarching conclusion is gonna be, let's figure it out together when we get to it. And I just noticed I didn't even accept the dailies there. So I think I'm probably gonna invest into Soul Janus level 20, but more than that, it's probably too much of a grief. And it's not like I have to invest into Soul Janus 20, because I can bite farm, right? It's like I said, you can only max a map so much, right? You can't max the map and get even more out of it, right? You can make it lazier, yes, but at the same time, I want to be in the know, right? I want to know what it's like to have the 3 Soul Janus summons. I just want to try it out and see how it is. While at the same time harnessing some of the bonus experience that I'm just gonna get passively from putting points into that skill. And then we're gonna decide, Soul Jane is 30 or not? Probably not. I will see though, I will see. At the end of the day, you will always reach your goals in this game if you just keep playing it. And that is really the mantra, I think, which I look at the most when making decisions, right? I can of course delay my 6-drop progression, but I will catch up eventually, and in the meantime I could earn extra EXP. So, you know, there's a trade-off to that, but is the trade-off worth it? I think most people would say no. I'm still in a comfortable spot to be more freely, or have the opportunity to decide more freely about it, right? So we will see, right? And I want to leave it there because I'm so undecided, while at the same time I already saw the patch notes for the next update and we can discuss them shortly. Don't worry, I'm not gonna read them to you. There's one thing that people are currently discussing, and that is if they are going to hyper burn an angelic bastard to level 220, get all the rewards, and then put them in the cash shop, I think, and then delete the AB to get another hyper burner, and then hyper burn what they originally planned to hyper burn. And whether or not that makes sense to do, I already know I'm not gonna do that. Because same mantra applies here. If I just keep playing the game, I will reach the same point. And I play the game so much that, you know what, I'll be ahead of the curve. Either way. It's really strange. If you compare yourself to others, you know, I got one comment that says comparing yourself to others is the thief of joy, which is 100% true and really something important that I also needed to hear, and I can be much more relaxed about my own progression if I keep that in mind, right? So, like I said, I will not be hyper burning an angelic buster to get like a couple of EXP tickets and then use them on my hyper burner or something like that. I'm not even interested in looking into that strategy, because at the end of the day I know in like a month from now, by just doing Monster Park dailies and Arcane River dailies, the Hayato, you know, the character that I'm going to burn, is gonna be in the proper spot, probably like 250 plus already. I don't know if the math works out in that sense that I'm already gonna be 250 plus, but you know how it is. We have until like August, middle of August, to finish the hyperburn, and if you just do dailies, you will finish it. And there's that, right? I will just do my dailies, and at the end of August, all of the hyperburners are gonna be done, and I will be done with them. Probably the people who like want to create a new main with this event, you know, they can look into optimizing that sort of thing for themselves, but you know, I'm not really looking to create a main or anything. I'm not even looking into like creating a boss mill with the Hayato. I just want to have it at 250 in order to have it at 250 for the Legion effect, and that's it, right? So this discussion doesn't affect me, and I just wanted to give you my opinion because, you know, you might consider it, and you know, by the time this video hits, this might be relevant for you, right? So, alright. I think that pretty much does it. We will explore the Dreamer update in the following couple of episodes. I'll give you my take on what's important to focus on, right? But overall, just keep playing the game and you'll you'll get somewhere, right? That should be the message of this video, maybe, right? Instead of being too focused on optimizing for things, just keep playing the game and you'll get somewhere. So with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed my entry for week 82 of my progression series. I enjoyed it. I am so glad to be 285 on the main right now. And yeah, from here on out, it's gonna be a new era. I feel like I finally hit the true late game that is kinda level gated, right? And now I am solely in the pitch waiting room until the new area releases, right? But at the same time, I'm not really in the like final waiting room because I still have to grind to 290 in order to like be fully done and RNG gated, right? Right now I still have stuff to gain, right? Like I said, like final damage on culling, for example, and then, you know, prepare for the new boss. So there are still these huge goals that I have until we are like truly done and settled, right? And probably it could be the case that I'm not even playing the game enough to truly ever reach the end game. It could be the case, but maybe that's up for interpretation, right? Alright, enough said. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you in my next video next Thursday. So, take care, and see you around. Goodbye.